Today, we're digging into Dracula's Guest, a seriously chilling short story by Bram Stoker that was actually published after he died. Now, a lot of people think this was the original first chapter of his masterpiece, Dracula, but it got cut by the publisher. You can really feel how it sets a terrifying stage for one of the most iconic villains ever created. So the story kicks off on what seems like a perfectly beautiful summer day in Munich. Our narrator, an unnamed Englishman, is just about to head out for a carriage ride. But then his innkeeper hits him with this really ominous warning. It's the very first hint that, this is not going to be some ordinary evening. Right off the bat, despite the gorgeous weather, our protagonist is met with these hushed, kind of cryptic warnings. You can just feel this weird tension building up between the bright sunny day and the dark way everyone's talking. And his coachman, a guy named Johann, seems especially freaked out. So, when he's pushed on it, the coachman finally blurts out what has him so scared. It's Walpurgis Night. And this isn't just some silly superstition. No, this is a deep, old folk belief that on this one specific night, the line between the living and the dead gets all blurry, and, well, all evil is let loose to party. And this setup perfectly shows you the main conflict of the story. On one side, you've got this skeptical, rational English guy who's more curious than he is cautious. And on the other side, you've got the coachman, Johann, who is terrified, begging him not to go, and is just completely wrapped up in his local beliefs. It is a total clash of worldviews. And here is where you see the protagonist's arrogance just shine through. He basically scoffs at these local beliefs, acting like they just don't apply to him. He's so convinced he's immune that he tells the coachman to stop and decides he's going to go explore some forbidden side road all by himself. It's a choice that pretty much seals his fate for the night. So now he's all alone, and he heads down that forbidden path, straight into this desolate-looking valley. He's completely ignoring the coachman's last terrified warning that this place has a dark, unholy history, a place the locals have stayed away from for centuries. And here's why they stayed away. Johann told him the village was abandoned because, get this, the dead wouldn't stay dead. Apparently, when they opened the graves, the bodies looked disturbingly alive, rosy with life, and their mouths were stained with blood. The living literally ran away to escape what he called the not dead. I mean, that's a pretty clear nod to vampires, right? So his arrogant decision leads him right into this creepy valley. And just like the warning suggested, the weather turns violently. A freak blizzard with snow and hail just appears out of nowhere. It forces him to look for shelter in the first place he can find, which, of course, happens to be an ancient, ominous cemetery. He thinks he's found a safe spot to hide from the storm, but, he could not be more wrong. He's just gone from the frying pan straight into the fire. The real climax of the story is about to happen right here, in the heart of this cursed graveyard. As he gets closer to this huge marble tomb, hoping to use it for cover, the moonlight reveals something carved into the back in Russian letters. This chilling inscription: "The dead travel fast." It's just a terrifying message to find in a place like this, and it's a direct quote that shows up later in the actual novel Dracula. And in that moment, it all just hits him. Every single warning comes rushing back. He's alone, in a cursed village, standing at a tomb in the middle of a supernatural storm on Walpurgis Night. The full, crushing weight of his own foolishness just comes crashing down on him. So he leans against the tomb's big bronze door to get out of the wind, and it swings open. And a flash of lightning, he sees her. A beautiful, sleeping woman with these unnaturally red lips, lying on a slab inside. It is the exact image of the not dead that the coachman was talking about. Before he can even process what he's seeing, just as he's thinking of going inside, bam, something grabs him. This immense, invisible force picks him up and throws him violently out into the hailstorm. It's a crazy physical shock right after a terrifying visual one, and it leaves him completely helpless. And then he sees the final, absolutely horrific image. Another bolt of lightning hits an iron stake on top of the tomb, and the marble just crumbles. In a burst of flames, the dead woman rises up, letting out this scream of agony right before he blacks out. Okay, so after that absolute chaos and terror, the story kind of shifts gears. Our hero wakes up from his ordeal, not to safety, but to a whole new and very, very strange kind of fear.
He slowly starts to come to, and he feels this heavy weight on his chest that's making it hard to breathe. He peeks through his eyelashes and sees two flaming eyes staring right down at him. A gigantic wolf is lying on his body. He can feel its hot breath on his face as it licks his throat. Now, your first thought here is just pure terror, right? A massive wolf is on top of you. But then the animal does something weird. It starts to yelp, but not like it's angry, more like it's trying to call for help. And that just raises this fascinating question about what it's really doing there. A search party of soldiers shows up, drawn in by the yelping, but their terrified whispers just confirm this is no normal animal. You hear them saying things like, "It's a wolf and yet not a wolf," that you'd need a sacred bullet, and that they need to leave because the lightning never brought that blood on the marble. But then you get this twist. The officer in charge tells his men to calm down, pointing out what's really happening here. This terrifying creature isn't attacking him. No, it's lying on him to share its body heat. It was literally protecting him from freezing to death. And this brings us to the final, chilling reveal. The story connects all the night's horrifying events to one powerful, unseen figure who has been pulling all the strings from a distance. So, back at the inn, safe and warm, the protagonist has to ask the innkeeper, "How did you even know I was missing? How did you know where to find me?" And the answer didn't come from the panicked coachman. It came from a message that arrived just in the nick of time. The innkeeper just hands him a telegram. It's from his mysterious host, the nobleman he's traveling to meet. The message urges them to take the utmost care of his guest and promises to cover any and all expenses to make sure he's safe. And it's signed, simply, Dracula. Holding that telegram, our hero finally understands. He was caught in this supernatural tug of war. The vampire in the tomb tried to claim him, but another power, a wolf commanded by Dracula, was sent to protect him. He was a target of one evil and, at the same time, the ward of another. And all of that leaves us with this one final lingering question. Yeah, Dracula saved his guest, but this terrifying display of power, controlling wolves, commanding people from miles away, it also works as a powerful warning. It tells our narrator, and us, exactly what kind of formidable, supernatural being he is about to go and meet.